Uh, Hello there. I'm Mike Bennett. I'm the president of Altamira Gold. Altamira Gold is a public company listed in Toronto. We have properties in central western Brazil, three large properties for gold and copper in a very accessible area. And we are concentrating on our project Cajueiro, which presently has a 700,000 ounce 43101 resource with a grade of about 1.2 grams per ton, 40 kilometers off an asphalt road with a hydroelectric power line running right past it. Our property package in Cajueiro is 30,000 hectares, and we have just discovered, about a year and a half ago, a brand new discovery, Maria Bonita, virgin discovery, never ever discovered before, not even by the local miners. And we've been drilling out Maria Bonita, which will add on to our 700,000 ounce resource.
Mike, good to see you. It's been a while. So it might be worth, and by the way, congratulations, obviously, on the discovery, but I think it was done at a period where the market didn't really care what people were doing. So now I want to understand how you take advantage of this high-priced gold environment. But first, if you don't mind, can you just give people a sense of your background and the plan here? What's the business plan going forward?
Well, I'm a mining geologist, Matt. Lived in South America for most of my life, lived in Bolivia and Brazil. My adrenaline is looking for mines and putting them into production. I've done that 5 or 6 times in my life, found multi-billion ounce gold deposits now. And that's what we want to do here in Cajueiro. We have an area which, when I first came in here in 2006, it took me from the place I'm sitting in right now, which is Alta Floresta, a town of about 130,000 people. It took 4 hours to get there. Today, we're going to pick up a world-renowned consultant from the airport here in Alta Floresta, and we're going to drive out to the property in 1 hour and 20 minutes. It's all but asphalted all the way to our project, has a hydroelectric power line running right past our 43101 resource, has internet, it's got all the mod cons. It's the place to put a mine into production.
Right, but as I say, I understand the commercial component here. Exploration companies, so to a penny, there's lots of them out there. People, pretty much saying the same thing. I'm trying to work out the plan that you guys have going forward. You've got 3 projects, Kajiro, obviously, Apiacas, and Santa Helena, but you're focused on the Kajiro project. So talk to me about how this moves forward. What are you going to do?
Well, so let's just think about most juniors, right? Most juniors go and drill something which, is virgin. Let's just say virgin discoveries. Why are they virgin in the world? They're virgin usually because they're covered in sterile material. So they have to go down 10, 20, 50, 60, 70 or more meters to find the ore deposit. Our case in Maria Bonita is from surface. So we have between 10 and 20 meters of soft material which can be taken out using a backhoe, which can be taken and put on a heap leach. And we've now done the metallurgy on this material, and this soft, weathered, intrusive material, which has, around about 0.8 to a gram of gold per ton in it. And we'll stick it on that heap leach, and the first lab tests that we've done on there give us 88% recovery. So that's really amazingly good, but it's even better because the use of cyanide in there is really, really, really low. Quinton Henning, who from Crescat, his comment was, "I've never seen such low cyanide use in any heap leach." And the reason for that is because all that's in this rock is gold. There's no copper, there's no arsenic, there's nothing in there which would mess up the heap leach. And the other thing that we've taken into account is, if we kind of leap forward and think about why hole 29 is so important, we've got visible gold in our core. And visible gold usually means that you've got a nugget effect. And anybody who puts in assays knows that it's really, really difficult to get the proper average grade from a fire assay. So we put in 0.5 meter of our drill core, which weighs 3 kilos, and we take out of that to do the fire assay 50-gram sample. Now, if you don't have in that 50-gram sample any of those visible gold grains that you see in the core in there, then obviously you're going to get a low result for the overall grade. And so what we're doing now is we have taken a laboratory called Crux. It's a technique which was perfected in 2018. They use a minimum of a 400-gram sample up to 650 grams, which is obviously, a lot more than our 50-gram sample. It's a non-destructive proton activation technique in a laboratory in Canada, and we are sending 2 of our drill holes there right now. And we believe that gives us a lion's chance of really understanding the real grade of what we have in this deposit. And fingers crossed, keep watching this page. We think those values are going to go up.
Right. Okay. So I guess there's two parts there. One is the sort of blanket, the sort of 20 meter, 30 meter blanket, which you are going to heap leach with apple juice levels of acidity.
Absolutely.
And that can you give us the sort of dimensions of that in terms of length, breadth, depth, etc.?
Yeah, I mean, our soil anomaly is 800 meters by 800 meters, right? So,
okay.
And the other advantage of all this is, apart from the power line which runs right past our back door there, and the asphalt road which is literally 30 kilometers away, the other advantage is that when we first drilled this way back when in 2022, we made this discovery with those first 7 drill holes, we realized we were onto something, Matt. And so we bought the farm. So we also have 409 hectares of our own land where this saprolite sits. So this is an absolute no-brainer for Altamira. We own the farm. We have a power line right close by. The metallurgy is great, 88% recovery on our saprolite material. We've got an area which initially we'd probably concentrate on the center of this area, which is about 500 meters by 400 meters. And, we've got between 10 and 20 meters of material. So as a little junior company, we're walking straight into cash flow once we've set this up.
Right. And to do that, you're going to need to raise some capital off the back of a study. Now, a heap leach is one of the easiest forms at surface. It's going to be, you've got to prove that the economics are there. And we've seen these sorts of things range from, 15, 20 million up to, 80, 100 million in terms of being able to extract the full value from that. So again, if you don't mind, if we stick on that bit before we get back to the drilling in a second, how do you envisage being able to move forward with that? Because people are going to be looking, certainly your shareholders are going to be looking and going, well, that's either a big anti-dilutory move from you because it should pay for itself relatively quickly, one would hope. But you would also use that money to kind of go and do further drilling and try and work out what's going on, deeper down. So how are you playing it? How do you imagine playing it?
Well, so we've got the actual, for our central area, we've already got the GU, which is the bulk sampling permits for our Baldo target in the central area. What we haven't got yet is the environmental permit, and that is going through the process right now. And we intend to include Maria Bonita, once that permit's been approved in the next couple of months, we intend to include Maria Bonita in that. So basically what we'll need for this bulk sampling permit is we can only produce up to 200,000 tons a year. So it's a very small plant. We could do it, as 2 men and with a wheelbarrow if we wanted to, with a tiny little heap leach, because it's just seriously on the surface, So I could go in there with John, our VP of exploration, and we could start digging a hole as soon as we got this permit, and we could start heap leaching this stuff. I mean, it's as simple as that. And we've not just sat around thinking about that. We've talked already to people with new heap leach technology to improve the filtration, to improve the time of the recovery. And we think this is a very, very viable way for Altamira to go forward. And let's just say, our cash flow was, 5 million a year. For a little company like ours, that is all we need. We don't need any more than that. We could easily use that money to do the exploration on our other two projects and to look at the other targets we have in Cajueiro.
And okay, obviously you can't talk specifically to the economics around that because you haven't done the work, but
no.
In other instances where you're looking at comparable operations, the 5 million is not to be sniffed at, but you obviously need to pay back the money you're going to need to raise to, get that up and running.
Well, I think the capex will be less than 10 million for this
great.
Small plant.
Right. So you would be able to, I guess, pay that back over 3, 4, 5 years, and then have some running costs as well.
Absolutely, depending how we do it. If we bring in a partner or we do it ourselves, there's 101 ways to kill that cat. But it's a real no-brainer for us to go forward.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So there's a meaningful contribution each year, and which you'd be putting into drilling. So let's get back to. I mean, I saw the announcement. On that only a few days ago, actually, 146 meters at 1 gram gold. Right. Now, obviously, that's the standout set of numbers. You're sort of ranging some 0.4 up to 0.1 over big intervals. What's the plan there in terms of that drilling program? What are you working towards this year?
Well, so what does this hole show us? Hole 29's kind of in the guts of the system. One thing you should remember, perhaps it's worth saying to the viewers, Crescat, who are who are our largest shareholders, and Quinton Henning, who is their geological consultant or representative, put out very, very good video and a very, very good 3D model of us last Friday. So if anybody wants to look at that, we're at minute 53 on that video. And basically what it's shown is that now, these systems can either be small or they can be large. So it's an intrusive system with lots of crisscrossing quartz veins in there and free gold. That's what it is, It's nothing more difficult than that. And so we, on our first 7 holes, had drilled the top 50 meters and seen, 0.7 to 1 gram gold sitting in the top 50 meters. A lot of people said, well, okay, that's probably just, that's what the system is. It's not going to go any deeper. So, we drilled quite a lot of holes over the last 3 months, 21 holes or so. We've shown that many of those holes go down to more than 200 meters, but hole 29 specifically goes down from surface to 212.8 meters. It runs in the total of that hole 0.8 grams per ton gold. It has only 2 individual meter samples in there, which run less than 0.1 gold. So it's mineralized right through the thing. It has visible gold in it, and we're taking this hole and we're going to send it to Canada and do that extra assay work on it with a larger sample. And it has in that whole stretch a maximum value of 2.4 grams per ton. So it's not skewed. The average is not skewed by some horrendously high value. It's just mineralized consistently down through the hole. Now, that's really important to us because, rather than just having the top of the cake sitting there mineralized, we now know we've got a bigger system which is consistently mineralized, which has got visible gold in it, which I firmly believe, once we've done these assays, will show us something quite important in terms of what the real average grade is. It's got great metallurgy. It's got a power line running right past it. It's 7 kilometers away from our resource of 700,000 ounces. And so, we're turning Cajueiro now into a multi-million ounce target. That's where we're going with this. And with the cream on the cake, sitting there in our own farm, in the saprolite, in Cajueiro, which can give us a cash flow.
Right. And so talk to me about business in Brazil at the moment, because I think, obviously, when I speak to Alan Carter, one of your co-directors, he's very keen to tell me about the successes in country. We've obviously got the a lot of M&A potential as well. Are you kind of here to kind of set yourselves up and make yourself look pretty for someone else, or given your experience, are you going to try and kind of work this through the economic study phases? What's the plan?
Well, it's a good question, Matt. So, we've got three large shareholders. Crescat with about 17%. But in the last financing, which we closed in November of last year, Aura Minerals came into our little family here, and they have about 11% of the company right now. They're very active in Mato Grosso, and very active in the states all around us. And they want to produce gold. So obviously this news has resounded with them, and we have a partner in there who's a mining partner. So who knows exactly what the short term will bring, but little Altamira wants to move this down the road, both in terms of growth of the overall size of the deposit, and also in terms of not banging my head against a brick wall and looking for money in a very depressed market as we have been for the last 2, 3, 4 years.
Okay, interesting. I think that the difficulty that again companies of your size have got now is kind of break out. It's been a tough 3 years across the board for all precious metal companies, all equities, quite frankly. What do you think it is? I'm intrigued by this question because no one's really had a good answer for the last 3 years, which is, what are the things that are going to drive a response from the market when they look at this company? Because the normal kind of catalyst moments, came and went, and the market really kind of shrugged its shoulders most of the time. What's it going to take for you to kind of truly stand out this year?
Well, so most junior companies might only have one project, right? And there may be various targets in that one project, but that's what they generally have. Our major project, because of the amount of work we've done on, is Cajueiro. Within Cajueiro, we have several other targets, and what we've been doing over the last few months is we contracted 2 groups of external consultants, one to look at the structure in there. And why? Because Maria Bonita is an intrusive, I'm not going to call it a porphyry yet, until we've had the green light from our consultant who we're going to take out today, but I'm calling it an intrusive. And this intrusive has come to surface because there are 2 structural directions, northeast, southwest, and east-west, which have allowed this to come up in that breakage in the crust. So we thought to ourselves, well, here's this thing which we didn't even know existed until 2020. We found it completely by accident by doing a soil line across it after the COVID shutdown. Nobody had ever seen it before, not even the local miners. And so we thought, look, we've got 30,000 hectares in this package. Why don't we go and look for other structural regimes which could have the same sort of thing? And the other thing to take into account is that our central area, which is 700,000 ounces, is not an intrusive. It's an area where the gold has been remobilized into a rhyolitic host rock. So this has come from somewhere else, this gold has. Now, why wouldn't there be another intrusive somewhere around that central area, which is the source of this? So we got these consultants. We're just about receiving the information. It's all this structural information. We took a geophysicist. We used all that geophysical information. We've put it all together, and they're putting it together as one package. And we believe we will have 3 or 4 new targets to go out and look at in the next 2 or 3 months. So in Cajueiro, we're going to continue to build Maria Bonita. We're going to push forward this small-scale mining idea, and we're going to look at the new targets, which is all important for the shareholders to keep their interest going. But we're also thinking, okay, we got 2 other projects to our name. One called Apiacás, where 1 million ounces of gold was taken out by the local miners. It's about 60 kilometers to the east of Cajueiro. It's an area which 10 years ago would take you 5 hours to get there. It now takes you an hour and 40 minutes to get there because it's asphalted all the way. And we drilled in 2022 13 holes into this area. Now, we didn't find the 1 gram material we were looking for, but we found 0.7, 0.6, 0.5 gram material. And so what we're doing there now is we're doing a geophysical survey, and lo and behold, we're starting to find things which we didn't realize we had there before. And so that will be news that'll come out in the next 3 or 4 months for the shareholders, and probably will orientate us to new drill holes in that area, in the Mutung central area of Apiacaz. And then our third project is to the south of the belt. It's 2 hours from where I'm sitting right now on asphalt roads. It's a copper gold project. It's 60 kilometers away from Jaca, the project which Fides, initially Anglo-American and then Fides, the private Brazilian company, has. I believe Aero Copper is now doing the exploration on that project. And we have 3 targets which, certainly look like copper porphyries. And so, obviously, during this visit this week, I will be taking our consultant down to Santa Elena, and we will be trying to figure out where we could site drill holes. And those, as copper's looking really good right now, could certainly light the market up.
And then tell me about obviously you raised $6 million back in November. What are you good for this year in terms of that program that you laid out? Are you kind of good for cash? Or
we drilled just over 4,000 meters so far. We're good for cash. Yeah, we've still got more than half of that left. Right. We're going to be careful with it because we realize that as time goes on and as you have to kind of try and figure out where the market's going to go to. But we want to try and go down both our small-scale mining road and increase our knowledge of all 3 projects without breaking our back.
Right, and you've got some other projects in the portfolio, which potential farm out, JV, etc. Is that at all in the consideration anytime soon?
Well, we've got lots of small projects, but those are kind of on the back burner. But the real 3 important projects are Cajueiro, which we're going to show the world we've built the resource up. We're going to take this small-scale mining project down the road. We have Apiacaz, which will show the geophysical information, which we'll generate over the next, I would say, in 2 months that'll come out. And we're starting to find new things there as well. And Santa Elena, once this visit's over, we'll pull the plug on whether we're going to drill or not ourselves these copper targets.
Yeah, it's obviously very, very topical at the moment. It's on the lips of everyone, copper. And I was really coming up from the point of view in terms of option, because you said that you've got to see how the market goes, because all well and good gold price being high, copper price being high, but it hasn't kind of come flooding down through the juniors yet. So, being careful with the cash allocation, obviously very smart. But in terms of other optionality with, some of these smaller projects in the portfolio, that's still there for you, is it?
Yeah, absolutely. We have 4 other projects which are ready to put in small-scale production, and we could certainly consider either selling those or doing a JV on them. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Well, Mike, I appreciate the update. You don't come on enough, quite frankly. So we'd love to see more of you this year, certainly because I think you're kind of moving through some quite interesting phases over the next few months. So stay in touch and let us know how you get on, okay?
Okay, fantastic, Matt. Well, thanks very much for having me on, and it's great to be with you again.